Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. My name is Millie Planta. I'm a student at Livingstone High School in year 10, and I've been living in Australia for only 7 until 8 months, having immigrated from Bali, Indonesia. I believe that multiculturalism is one of the key issues that the city is to consider when examining what makes this city great for under 25s. My presentation today will focus on recognizing the differences that exist while my college will bring during the cultural grad. The statistics from the city of Canning indicate that 9.3 of the city's residents have migrated to Australia in the last 5 years. I believe that by understanding the differences that exist between people born and raised in another country with the Australians will help in creating the better future for the young people in the city of Canning. The first major difference that I would like to focus on is the differences in expectations. It's well known that migrants have really great expectations of their children, especially Asians, in their relations to education and their career. They all want their children to use the opportunities available to become doctors or lawyers rather than skilled or unskilled jobs. Their children work hard to overcome all obstacles to try and to achieve this regardless if they want to be doctors or lawyers. We don't live our own life in Asia. We live our life for our families and also for our parents especially. The concept of family and loyalty to family is very important. When we have a job, we are obligated to help our parents like a payback or thank you for all that they have done for us. We have a strong emphasis on working hard and supporting our family. In Asian culture, teenagers are not allowed to work. Teenagers my age, they are not allowed to work. We have to finish our education until university, and our parents will support us until we finish this and achieve until university. Sport is not considered important in the same way Australians think about. Sport is just to be enjoyed. It's not pursued in a serious way, especially if it conflicts with our educations. When the teenagers grow up and move away from home, they eventually come back and live in a close proximity to their families, raising their own children within their extended families. For many migrants, socialization occurs only within the extended families. There is very little assimilation within the Australian culture or way of life. The little that does occur is normally adopted by the youth over a period of time, resulting in some instances in family conflict as the youth attempt to assimilate and adopt the Australian way of life, while the older generations cling to the old way of life. Morality is another difference that exists. Migrants have different views of how the youth should be raised. Many migrants have strong ethical views in relation to how much freedom they have, what clothes they wear, and also who they associate with, even who they marry with. Australians find this difficult and ridicule migrant people because they don't assimilate. What I would like the city to know is that migrant people come here because they value the freedom and also the opportunity that exists and available. However, they maintain their values and way of life. They have very little support structures to help them make the transition from their own way of being to adopting more of the Australian way. Religions play a big part in the lives of most migrants. After the family, it is the biggest institution to influence the way that they live. Members of their congregations will act as counselors and will provide information. For many migrants, the religious organization becomes the center of their existence as it provides all their services and needs, and also it provides them with the sense of security. They have someone to turn to. Religion provides migrants with an opportunity to associate with people from their own country. It gives them the opportunity to speak in their own language and even celebrate their festival together as if they had never left home before. Many migrants come to Australia seeking a better life and are looking for employment opportunities that will allow them to achieve this. They have a strong work ethic and will work hard to ensure that their children get the benefit of their efforts. They have high expectations of themselves and their children. Migrants from the same country will live within the close proximity of each other. This is to provide support and similarity. Sometimes this is misunderstood as being a negative thing for the community, but as migrants settle and become familiar, establish their foundations and develop the community. From the information presented, we can see that there is a difference between the Australians' way of life and those of migrants. For the Canning City Council, the challenge is to provide youth with the balance between the old and new way of life, where education, family, and hard work, also way of life valued by our migrants, are incorporated into the fabric that make up the Canning City, and for the city to provide opportunities that will allow the culturally blending of all its citizens so that the city is vibrant, a harmonious place to live, and to also lay down foundation. I would now like to introduce Navneet Kaur, who will speak on how to bridge the cultural gap. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Navneet Kaur and I'm in year 10 in Sydney High School. I'm 15 years of age and I have lived in Australia for 4 years. My speech will focus on what is very close to my heart. That is how I would like to see the city bridge the culture gap that exists between many cultures and that make up the city, and that of the white Australian Christian cultures. I would like the Canning City to take up the challenge and make the city multicultural, where people from diverse backgrounds are happy to live, lay down their roots and bring up their family. An environment that not only tolerates the culture difference but also celebrates them. As a young girl of Indian descent, I have personally experienced the hardship that migrants new to this country feel, the isolation from the communities and the pressure of conform to the Australian way of life. I believe that concept that embraces the multicultural diversity will be a richer and more inviting place for migrants to come and live. How can this concept achieve this? When migrants new to this country come from different countries, they don't have a lot of information about important aspects such as the Australian culture, the employment opportunities, housing, the health welfare system, education opportunities available, where do they send their children to school, service available such as shopping center, which may sell their cultural foods, or health center that have interpreters. While migrants' information centers are located in Perth, capital city, this is not always assembled to migrants living in Canning, as they are not familiar with transport facilities, the language or layout of the city. If Cannington was to have their own migrant information center, it could provide the services and assist needed by migrants to get the information they needed. Having an interpretation services, consulars and legal assistant would also be services that could be provided here. So many migrants experience depression because they are homesick and they feel isolated. I would like the council to provide a community center with facilities, activities and access to staff who could help and new migrants get settled and find place in the city. Currently, we have centers which focus on children, young people, senior citizens, but there really isn't anything for migrants, particularly for migrant women. We find themselves at home, isolated from their community. If they had somewhere where they could meet fellow countrywomen, then they would not feel isolated. They would be able to share their experience, enjoy the company and could access help the translation into Australian culture, such as English classes, shopping exhibitions, cooking classes, and recreation facilities. The benefit of this would be felt by the whole community, would be a huge step toward progress. With 9.2% of City Canning population from other countries, there would be many opportunities for council to adopt a more multiculturalism views and celebration some of more charming festivals by its diverse population. This would go a long way to have migrants feel at home as well as educating and sharing culture experience with other non-migrants. With migrants from Asian, Indian, Africans and Middle Eastern countries, there would be many festivals they could be shared with the communities such as Diwali, Eid, Chinese Lantern Festival, New Year and Dragon Festival. This celebration could form part of Canning City Festival similar to the Southwood Festival and Fremantle Southern Festival. All these festivals generate a lot of enthusiasm from both migrants and Australians, go a long way towards bringing the culture gap and creating ties of friendship rather than mistrust. To further bridge the gap, the city of Canning could establish Mrs. Sterling City links with the dominant migrant groups' homelands, therefore encouraging the exchange of culture and learning opportunities. Architecture designs of various migrant groups could be adopted in planning of public places like parks and community centers. Encouraging migrants, arts, drama and literature would also enrich the community. And the community prescriptions of migrants while it's providing migrants the opportunity to develop the artistic pursuits in their new place of residence. Sporting migrants in their religion beliefs by agreeing to the building of temple would also change the attitude that Australians have to different beliefs. Libraries with the city could house books in different languages, therefore encouraging migrants to use the service while they learn English. Supporting migrants in their business efforts such as ethnic food for stores, restaurants, other commercial enterprise would provide employees opportunities as well as enrich the Canning city. There are so many ways that the city of Canning could only present, bridging the gap, the cultural gap that exists for young migrants growing up in the city. I have only presented a few, but I would like to believe that the council could work in partnership with migrants' youth to make the city more popular and beautiful in everyone's eyes. And if we all work together, we can make it inviting cosmopolitan city for everyone. Thank you to the City of Canning for allowing us to present our views on the City of Canning for under 25th.